Hello and God bless you all. Um, for today, what I'm going to get into is a couple things about Obama that that may have been overlooked. This came out back in 2013. Some people might have been awake around then, others might not have been. But I'm going to show you just a few things for you to use your discernment to pray over and to come to your own conclusions. Um, what I'm going to show you is kind of odd, okay, and that's why I say I'm not putting anything out there as far as an opinion based um, conjecture unless I state it as such. Okay, but these things are for you to see, for you to investigate, for you to um, come to your own conclusions based upon well, God, of course, and hopefully you pray over this, but um, it's meant for you to question, to raise an eyebrow. Okay, that's how I found the Lord. Okay. Um, I started questioning things that I saw around me that just didn't add up. And for me, it was Sandy Hook. It was seeing articles like 2 billion rounds being bought by the Department of Homeland Security. Things like this, I was really questioning, and God was stirring my heart. So that's what this is for. That's the purpose of this, is just to stir your heart. A lot of times in Scripture, when it comes to fulfillment, it doesn't always go as we planned, and it always doesn't happen like you can check the block and say that's fulfilled, okay, that's done. It almost goes in like a process or a like a time release almost. So what I want to show you is this is what Jesus says when he goes to the synagogue when he starts his ministry. He states, Isaiah 61:1. The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because the Lord hath anointed me to preach the good tidings unto the meek. He has sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim the liberty to the captives, and the opening of the prison to them that are bound. And that's where he stops, right there. And, well, according to what we think, that's where he stops. And the rest is yet to be fulfilled, to proclaim the day of vengeance of our Lord God, and to comfort all that mourn. So, again, this prophecy started and stopped. Okay, another one you can look at, a real easy one that's going on right now, that people have noticed. I'm not going to get too into it, but is Revelation 12. We had this sign appear in the heavens not too long ago. Very simple stuff. A great wonder appeared in heaven. A woman, the constellation Virgo, was clothed with the sun, and the moon was at her feet. She had 12 stars above her head. The constellation Leo, and the three wandering stars. And of course, she was with Jupiter in the womb. And so we had this sign appear. It's in the process of being fulfilled. Okay. What I want to show you, the third one, is what we're going to talk about, and that is Isaiah 17. Now, a long time back in 2013, 2012 actually, a little bit before that, the Lord told me he was coming very soon. And that's all he said was, very soon. I'm coming very soon. And I began to see signs that it was extremely soon. And I thought it was sooner than what it was. And that happens a lot of time with following Christ. You get excited. You think something's going to happen and it doesn't. Then you kind of lose your joy. And it's all a process to keep you, to see how long you're going to hold on to him. Okay? For one reason, among many others, I'm sure. But this is Isaiah 17. Behold the burden of Damascus. Now, Damascus is the oldest city in the world, okay? And it is going to be a ruinous heap eventually. So this is yet to be fulfilled. It has not become a ruinous heap as of yet, but it is very, very close. I believe this will be the final strike, the final blow, possibly nuclear, on Damascus, or some sort of massive air campaign from possibly Israel. I don't know. Again, we don't know everything, but we take things and we look and we examine and we study and pray over them. So anyway, as I was looking at this and read this, and this is why I think it's nuclear real quick, I'll go into this. It says in here about the remnant, the followers of Christ of Syria. Okay, so there's not been a rapture as of yet. Okay, they shall be as the glory of the children of Israel, saith the Lord of hosts, which I think This could be about Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, the children in the fiery furnace, okay, that they were protected. God was with them and he protected them from everything that came against them. That's a possible meaning. But when I saw this, it really struck home with me because I found a sign in the heavens that matched this perfectly. Okay, and it shall be as when the harvest man gathereth the corn and reap with the ears with his arm. And it shall be as he that gathers the ears in the valley of the Rephaim. So what that said to me was, and when I saw this sign, I thought the rapture was any minute. It's going to happen any minute now. And I'll tell you why. I'll show you why. So this is this is Virgo with Spica and the moon. Now you have to go to Israel, Jerusalem, to see it this way. If you go in the United States, the moon is offset and it doesn't line up perfectly. So it lines up perfectly if you're in Israel. And when you focal on this, it actually goes dead center across Spica. And that is the harvest moon. And here's a picture. The harvest moon and sickle going completely across. Here's a picture of it right here. It's dead center on the moon. So that's what I saw, and I thought, well, something big is happening. And essentially it was, but it wasn't until this all had to be fulfilled. And when I say that, I'm like, you look at Syria, and I'll put all these documents in the folder there below. You look at Syria, and I mean, it is a mess. This is a mess with all the different ethnic groups that are trying to live and have freedom and peace. And it's a 10% Christian nation. All right, so it's the perfect storm right here. It's exactly what's going on. I'm going to show you something here else real quick. I want to show you the etymology of spica here. Ear of grain, just as exactly as it says here. Harvestman gathered the corn, the ears in the valley of the Rephaim. The ear of grain, ears with his arms. So when I saw this, again, I was amazed. But something comes out on TV around this time, I think it was 3 days later, where Obama had met with Congress about Syria. And there's a really, really strange entity that is seen. And that's what I want to show you, and then we'll build off of that. Okay, so 2 days, just 2 days after that sign occurred, okay, this sign right here, the sign that's right in Isaiah 17, and it's not, there we go, 2 days, this is September 12th, I'm sorry, 10th, right here, him addressing the nation. I'll pull that up just so you can see it. September 10th, 2013. 2 days later, we have this. This is actually off of, this is actually, sorry, this is actually off the CNN YouTube feed, essentially.
Does our country be effective tomorrow or
Now,
next week?
I'm going to turn the sound off
1 month from now,
so I can talk. And look back here. And yes, you can say it's a reflection, whatever. Again, this is for your discernment. But there is this wicked looking entity back here. And you see it every once in a while. It kind of doesn't change too much from that position. Could be nothing, could be something. It appears to me, and I'll show you another video of it, to have like a blue eyebrow, okay, and a long, rigid type nose and weird looking lips, okay. Again, that's what I'm seeing, these blue eyebrows, like very high arched eyebrows, and a long, like chiseled type nose with very thin lips. All right, now we're going to check out some amateur Photoshop, some amateur stuff on this. Okay, let's take a look. I think someone obviously saw it on their TV and kind of zoomed in on it. So let's take a look.
Of both parties. I ask you to take this vote for our national security. I am looking
Again, high blue arched eyebrows, kind of bluish white mouth with a chisel type nose.
forward to the debate. In doing so, I ask you, members of Congress, to consider that some things are more important than partisan differences or
Okay, take a look at a couple more. Again, some pictures of it. This guy slowed it down. So reflection or not, I don't know, but it looks strange. I'm going to show you what I immediately thought of when I saw this. That's what I thought of. Now, I have looked and looked, and I know there's a lot of weird stuff surrounding Easter Island. First off, it's an island shaped like a triangle, um, or a capstone, whatever you want to call it. Um, of course, we know the fallen have built monuments like this, Stonehenge, Montezuma, all those places down south in South America, the pyramids. I mean, it goes on and on and on. But I thought this looked really, really, really close to what we're looking at in that window. The only thing is the arch here is straight versus here it's not. Okay. You have the big chiseled nose, very thin lips. Um, you be the judge. You be the judge. I just wanted to bring this out. I haven't seen anyone talk about it for a long time. A couple other things I want to throw at you, and I'll let you go. But yeah, that's what I thought of when I first saw it. Unfortunately, I've looked at Easter Island and a lot of stuff, and yeah, there's a lot of weird things there, but nothing I could connect to make a good connection. You know that, but except for the fact that these are obviously not man-made, in my opinion. There's no way that these were made with primitive tools. There's just no way. Um, so let's look at a couple things here. Just a couple things I thought about with that drastic blue eyebrow was the Dark Horse video. Egypt is full of the color blue. Of course, Egypt is the center for all knowledge. All right, which is the tree we ate from, and of course, Cleopatra was famous for her blue eyeshadow. I thought this was interesting too. The blue eyeshadow on the Wicked Queen. Um, you also have the clown from, oh, what was that movie? Spawn had blue eyebrows, or blue face. Blue Whale Challenge is a demonic game. There's all kinds of references, but I'm not going to get into all that. That's something you can think of on your own or get on your own. What I want to go through though, real quick, is the actual sign and just some information with that. Okay, so the sign that we got, Isaiah 17, if this is connected to it, which I'm pretty sure it is, then where have we seen this before? Of course, we've seen this before. Right here, the rise of Islam. Okay, and that's exactly what Obama is trying to do, is the rise of Islam. Okay, you also have this. All right, again, Russia plays a key role in this. Not necessarily an Islamic state, but definitely the war machine. If you look in the Bible, it's all about a harvest. It's all about a soul harvest of this planet. And unfortunately, these are key players in that harvest. Um, I've said it before that the Babylonian system is breaking down. You can see it because the fires are being exposed in California. The elite are being exposed for their pedophilia. The politics are being exposed for their lies and corruption. Uh, they're killing holistic doctors and promoting pharmaceuticals. So the Babylonian system of intricate lies and details of getting people to turn towards that system is falling. And when the Babylonian system falls, the only system that Satan will have to rely upon is fear. And that's it. Because everything else will be a lie. Everything else is already going to be uncovered at that point. So Satan has to rely on fear, the war machines, all right, to drive the train of fear to get people to take the mark of the beast. And that's exactly what's gonna and that's exactly what he's gonna use is fear in driving that train. Again, the star. Why don't we see this, people? The star and the crescent moon. And this isn't something I made putting this picture up here. Okay, this is right off the website, right off their page. Let me show you. When you start to peel back the onion, this has got to be quite obvious. And this is the rise of Islam. You know, there's just no other way around that. I mean, this is their emblem. I mean, what is that? Is Obama. If I've ever seen it, that is him. And if you think he's not coming back, think again. He is coming back. Okay? His time is not over. All right? Um, so there you have it. Yeah, a lot of people did stuff on this horse here. And what I found interesting was, of course, it's a famous horse. It's won the Triple Crowns, whatever. All right? And it's funny, it's called a champion. And if you go back to my other video about the brood of vipers, the Bible discovers that there's two types of humans here, and that's for you to discern. But that's what the Bible says, and one of them is champion, and that's what this. You see, God always takes the humble. God always uses the Moseses or the Josephs, the Jonahs. He doesn't use these flamboyant type people. He doesn't. It's just not what he does. But anyway, I thought this was interesting. This is just one connection, all right, and I'll let you go. Is the American Pharaoh is a bay colt with a faint star on his forehead. All right. Again, we just talked about this. Satan's a falling star. Whatever connection you want to make. But what I thought was neat was a bay colt. A bay colt. The Bible has an interesting connection here. It says in Mark 8:22-23, talks about a blind man from Bethsaida. And this blind man goes into town and he puts spit in his eyes and he walks away and he can see. This is what he says. This is what this guy says. And he looked up and said, I see men as trees walking. Now, you and I, if we're just beginning a Bible study, what would we think? What in the heck is this guy talking about? How does he see trees walking, men as trees? And after that, he put his hands again upon his eyes and made him look up and restored, and he saw man very clearly. What God was doing here, healing this guy, it looks like he over-healed him so he could see in the spiritual realm, was making a connection for us that men are tied to trees. We produce fruit. We have sound footing if we, a good root system. If we, go to his water and fertile soil. I mean, the whole nine yards. And of course, the two trees in the Garden of Eden. One's connected to Jesus Christ. The other's connected to Satan. But then you see this psalm and you think, what the heck? And the psalm says, let's see if I can find it here. Let's see. The psalm says, now we just seen men as trees, right? This Psalm 37:35 says, I have seen the wicked in great power, and spreading himself like a green bay tree. And we just have what type of cult? A bay cult. Now you could, make your own connections. But anyway, I just felt compelled to put this out. I'll put all the information in a link for you to look at your leisure. God bless you all.